Hello everybody, my name is Sniping is Fun, and I welcome you all back to the next character I'm going to be talking about in this long-running series of Newcomer Ideas in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, that being character 101, Flynn, from the Shin Megami Tensei series. Now, I've done 100 characters so far. My last one was BJ Blazkowicz from the Wolfenstein series, and I did state, and this is a challenge for me, this is going to be a task that I'm going to have to step up and try to complete. I basically mentioned right after recording that video, like people have probably been wondering for a while, how many characters am I going to talk about? I made a video and I'm going to a character 150. I'm going to do 50 more. This is character 101, 49 more after this, and I have to do it all within the rest of October throughout November before this game comes out in December, because, well, that's a challenge for me, and it's taken me longer than a month to do 50 characters before, so yes, I'm going to have to step up my game and work ahead of the game and record multiple videos at the same time. But yes, without further ado, let's just start this. BJ Blazkowicz was the last video. Flynn from Shin Megami Tensei, more importantly Shin Megami Tensei 4 on the Nintendo 3DS, is my next character I want to talk about, and without this intro getting on too long, 3 categories. Why does the character make sense for Smash Bros., moveset ideas, and percentage chance I can see him actually getting in. Let's say Flynn, but let's say Shin Megami Tensei. Why does Shin Megami Tensei deserve to be represented? What is deserving of this franchise to get in? First and foremost, as niche as it actually kind of is, it is a fairly popular RPG series, more so in Japan, but it is growing worldwide, especially because of its spin-off series Persona. And Persona has grown tremendously, getting animes and all these, video games and cartoons and all this other stuff and merchandise and everything. Persona has grown tremendously and become its own basic series, divided from and separate from the Shin Megami Tensei series, but it originated from it. This is the original series, and it is a popular series in the gaming industry. It's been around for quite some time. I recall the series started back in the 90s, I believe, on like the original PlayStation and maybe like the Super Nintendo, like in that era, like Super Famicom, PlayStation, Saturn kind of thing. It's like that mid to late 90s, I think, is when the series really kind of got started, and it has become quite a popular RPG series, and I do believe that alone is deserving of why it should be in and be in a company like Final Fantasy and whatnot. And outside of that, people will be like, but does it really have a Nintendo influence? Is it really on Nintendo and have history with Nintendo? Actually, it kind of does. Shin Megami Tensei 4, the one game he's from, is on the 3DS. 3DS has like 4 or 5 some odd different Shin Megami Tensei games. Shin Megami Tensei 4, like Apocalypse and spin-off games and multiple different like spin-off games. The series had numerous games on the DS. Shin Megami Tensei 5, the next main entry after his game, is coming to the Switch probably sometime 2019, 2020. It's coming. The main entry, the Shin Megami Tensei series, has more history on Nintendo per se than on other brands. While Persona is mostly like a PlayStation brand, like a Sony branded RPG, the Shin Megami Tensei series technically kind of has more history on Nintendo, and a lot of its spin-offs do and have come to Nintendo. And let's say like Shin Megami Tensei 4, like I said, is on the 3DS. So the series has been around since the 90s. It's a semi-niche still, but growing in popularity RPG series. It has history with Nintendo on the likes of the DS and 3DS and whatnot. His game, Shin Megami Tensei 4, is on the 3DS. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is coming to the Switch, which could mean putting the character in Smash Bros. Could be very, very, very big advertising for the series, and Smash Bros. Could help out, and it'll benefit Smash Bros. In the long run too, because maybe they'll get more characters later on, and so on and so forth. So yes, that's the reason why I would say the series deserves to get in. And why Flynn specifically? Well, he's currently the current main character, and I do recall him being fairly popular and Shin Megami Tensei 4 selling pretty well. So I think out of all the Shin Megami Tensei main characters, not including what we're going to see in Shin Megami Tensei 5, because we don't know anything really about that game yet except for a teaser trailer, he is pretty much one of, if not the most popular Shin Megami Tensei main characters. I mean, there's a few other choices that are rivaling him from previous Shin Megami Tensei games, like on the 3DS, DS, and before that. But he's probably one of the most popular ones. It sold fairly well, and he's probably one of the more Nintendo-oriented ones too. And I think they'd want to go for something like that. And I think you can make an interesting moveset for him too. And I think he would just fit in with all like the Fire Emblem characters and the Zelda characters and the Xenoblade characters and stuff like Ryu and Cloud and Bayonetta and whatnot. I think he'd fit in quite well, actually. And the series itself would fit in quite well. Moveset ideas. Now, I haven't played too much Shin Megami Tensei. I own a couple games. I played a little bit of them, but I haven't gravitated to that RPG series much like I have like Final Fantasy, Tales, Kingdom Hearts, somewhat Dragon Quest, various other RPG series I've played. Golden Sun, Fire Emblem, whatever the heck else, Disgaea, whether it's a turn-based strategy, whatever RPG series. I've gravitated more to those than I've ever gravitated to the Shin Megami Tensei series. I haven't put a whole lot of time into Shin Megami Tensei, although I do own a few games from it, and I want to kind of get into it more so before Shin Megami Tensei 5 comes out. But yes, like I said, this is one of the characters I had to do a little bit of research on. I technically own the game, haven't really put a whole lot of time into it yet, so I can't really gravitate a full-flegged endgame moveset really for him, so I had to do some research. But basically, Flynn is basically like in this organization of like samurai type heroes that fights to save the world from like demons. Like in layman's terms, that's basically what it is. Like it's been a while since I looked into the game, so I really don't know his company's name or any of that stuff. But like or what he works for and whatnot, but it's this organization that saves the world from demons and stuff like that, and they hire like samurai and train them and whatnot. That's basically him. Now, you kind of see what he has in his hand there, and the sword haters are going to want to come and attack me because they hate sword users and think they can't be original. But he doesn't use just a sword. But the sword shouldn't dictate him being in the game or not. Anyway, swords are, like I said, I've mentioned this multiple times, swords are popular weapons throughout history. So him having a sword should not be anything. So sword haters, lower your temper and listen and learn. Yes, he uses a sword. He uses what is essentially a katana. There's other weapons he uses too, but the katana is his main weapon. It's the katana of Masakado, which is like a demon spirit Japanese warrior kind of thing that grants him powers kind of thing. So he channels the spirit of this demon, this warrior of Japanese whatever, samurai warrior kind of thing into his sword. So his main weapon will be obviously a sword, a katana, but his smash attacks are not just a katana. He also has the glove of samurai, and he can punch your face into the ground. He can attack by, punching as well. So he's going to be a puncher and then a sword attacker. So half of his smash attacks will be sword-based, katana-based, which we don't have a katana-based specific sword-wielding character in this game yet. And I've only talked about like one or two other katana wielders, and that one of them was Sakura from Sakura Wars. So we really don't have a katana specifically weapon, sword weapon user in Smash Bros. Yet. So that alone would diversify his moveset, because how you wield a katana is not how you wield like European swords and whatnot. They all kind of wielded a little bit differently. And then he could punch. So basically, I think it's kind of similar to the moveset I gave Travis Touchdown many character videos ago, because Travis Touchdown can punch and kick in his game and No More Heroes, but he also uses a beam katana. So sword strikes and punching moves are basically like Travis Touchdown I think I said for his smash attacks, what Flynn would do. He would have the glove of the samurai, and he's going to punch your face in, do combos, and beat you up, then pull the katana of Masakado out and slice you up like Sakura. I said probably keep it in the sheath kind of thing. So the sheath will be there so he can punch and kick, and then when you do the special, certain smash attacks, you pull out the sword. There you go. That's his smash attacks. His special attacks, he basically can use a gun. So there's like a rifle he can. So he has a ranged weapon where you can pull out a gun and be like, and shoot you. There's probably different guns in the game. It's been a while since I really looked into that. So just give him the basic like handgun rifle type of maneuver kind of thing. And he also has like various special abilities, various magical manipulation type abilities. He can manipulate darkness, so he'll probably do a dark spell type of thing, like kind of like the Nosferatu spell for Robin. He's a magic user and can basically use elements and manipulate elements like fire and ice and force and lightning and earth. So basically, he's going to be a very big, magic elemental manipulation user. He's going to use the elements like earth and force and lightning and fire and ice and whatnot. And he can manipulate darkness, so he's like a dark magic user too. He can cast curses. I don't know if that would necessarily be a good thing for, to represent in Smash Brothers. Maybe you can set a curse on an opponent where maybe it slows them down, or maybe it drains their HP for like 10-15 seconds, like gives them some damage or something. Like that'd be kind of cool, like a status effect, because if you've played Shin Megami Tensei games before, they do have status effects. The series heavily relies on you being able to master how to status affect your opponent to beat them. So it'd be kind of cool to manipulate into his moves and make that a special ability. He can cause stuff to make people go slower, go faster, receive damage over a period of time. That'd be kind of cool. He does life and death manipulation. He can absorb attacks and redirect it. So maybe he can have like a shield where if you block correctly, you give the opponent back their attack. You block it and then you just redirect their damage that they would give you back onto them. That'd be kind of cool. So I'd say, yes, his special attacks would be mostly a gun, a lot of magic using elements like fire and ice and force and lightning and earth and manipulating darkness and being able to absorb someone's attack and redirect it back at them. That's how I would mostly make and cast curses too, his special attack. So he's very, very, diversified in his special attacks. His smash attacks are kind of basic with the punches and the swords, but he does a lot of different stuff for special attacks, such as like the element manipulation, darkness manipulation, magic spells, redirecting attacks, and cursing people. So there you go. And his final smash. In the Shin Megami Tensei games, you can usually, like in multiple other RPGs like Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts and whatnot, Tales, you can summon monsters. You can summon creatures to help you. Like in Final Fantasy, you can summon like Ifrit or Shiva or whatnot. You do the same thing in this. You can summon demons. You can summon the Shin Megami Tensei demon monster thing. Now, there's various different ones throughout the series. I don't know which one I would specifically pick, but I did research on which ones you can, like the entire list of ones you can get in his game in Shin Megami Tensei 4. And basically, I would say, instead of summoning one, I would say summon multiple demons. It's just a big cutscene one. You hit the smash ball, you activate it, and he's like, demons, come forth! Then all these demons just storm the stage and maybe like a big giant cutscene thing and attack opponents. You basically have Metatron, Shiva, Vaisha, Myra, for the Fallen Archangel, Sonnet, Ancient of Days, and you don't specifically, as far as I know, in the game, because like I said, I never made it super far in the game. I've had backlog and haven't really got super far in the game. But one of the most popular monsters in the Shin Megami Tensei series is Jack Frost. So I want to include that in there too. So he summons forth, maybe not all these monsters, so I'd say summon forth Jack Frost, Metatron, Vaisha, Mira, Shiva, and maybe Sanat or something, and they just all storm the opponent with elemental damage and blah blah blah, and then maybe you can end the cutscene off with Jack Frost jumping on Flynn's arm and like doing a pose like yay, and then he flies away and Flynn goes back to the fight and they all get knocked off the stage. I don't know, something like that. But I'd make his final smash summoning demons, and I'd say pick about 3 to 5 of them. Make sure Jack Frost is one of them. While it may not directly represent his franchise, his game, it represents the franchise, and a lot of people kind of want, I've seen people recommend and want to see Jack Frost in Smash Brothers. So maybe the next best thing, instead of putting him specifically in the game, is have him represented through a Shin Megami Tensei character, and that could be his final smash, summoning some demons and just storming the stage with attacks. There you go. Percentage chance I can see him actually getting in. I don't think he has the greatest chance, or Shin Megami Tensei even really in general has the greatest chance. I think in time, maybe in a future Smash Bros. Game. As of now, I think we need to see Shin Megami Tensei 5 on the Switch and maybe where the series goes on Nintendo after that. But it does have enough history so far on Nintendo to really kind of deserve to get into Smash Bros. And be there alongside Cloud and Simon Belmont and Bayonetta and whatnot. I mean, it's not as much as, say, like a Rayman or Bomberman if he was an assist trophy, or a Shantae, maybe a Gunvolt, someone from various Sega franchises like Soccer Wars or Valkyria Chronicles or whatnot, or Phantasy Star, and various other, Banjo-Kazooie even, and, so on and so forth. Geno even. Like, he doesn't probably deserve as much as them, or even Travis Touchdown, but, like, or the franchise isn't really up there with those choices, which I think make a whole lot more sense. But it's not like a low third party either. Like, it is a series that has history with Nintendo, and it's just growing. It's going to continue going forward. The next big game in the series is on the Switch, so it's like the series, I think, is diverse enough to deserve it. But I'm going to give him about a 15% chance. I'd say 15. I was going to say 15, 20-ish range, but I'm like, so I'm going to stick to 15. It's there. It's possible, but there's a large amount of third-party characters that really deserve it above him, or the Shin Megami Tensei series in general. So let's just go with it as it will. I'll say 15%. It's there. It's possible. It's just not the greatest chance in the world. And I see a lot of third parties happening before it. But I would like to see it because it's kind of cool. And I think it'd be kind of cool to give that franchise representation, especially with how many people love Persona. And Persona's chances are probably slimmer than this. But Shin Megami Tensei is actually a little bit higher, especially given that they crossed over with Fire Emblem made Tokyo Mirage Session. So anything's possible, really. So yeah, Flynn for Smash Brothers or Shin Megami Tensei in general. Who cares? That's it for character number 101, Flynn from Shin Megami Tensei 4. I hope you guys liked the video. Put in the comments what you guys have you ever played the Shin Megami Tensei games? Do you enjoy them? Do you like them? Would you love to see it represented in Smash Brothers? Just let me know. Put it down there. What about my moveset? Have you played through the full game and can make a better moveset? Is percentage chance 15% too high, too low? The reasons I said make sense, or whatever. You put it there and discuss it. We can have fun there. And that's character 101 on the road to 150. And when I return next time, character 102 is going to be a return to a Nintendo franchise. A franchise I haven't talked about a character in quite some time, and that's Xenoblade. And I'm going to be returning to the world of Xenoblade Chronicles X. I've already talked about Alma, but the other main character of the game, Cross, is my next character I'm talking about. I'll see you all later.